Guy Ritchie has had quite the interesting career over the last decade, but he's really settled into this period/action niche, and I am all for it. If there's one thing I'll never tire of, it's Nazis being killed in brutal ways. They're the most one-dimensionally evil bad guy possible, and the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare gives us that in spades, with what feels like hundreds of them getting gunned down before our very eyes. It's absolutely glorious. The film follows Gus March Phillips and his band of soldiers as they try to stop Nazi U-boats from preventing American help during World War II. While this is proudly proclaimed to be based on a true story, it's hard not to question just how loose the truth may be. Because there are more unbelievable moments of badassery that it's hard to see them as all factual. But if there's anything I've learned about life, it's that some of the most insane things can be true. And the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare strikes the perfect tone between whimsical and grounded. I've always felt that Henry Cavill is far more charismatic than the roles that he tends to take on would have you believe. So I'm glad to say that Cavill finally seems to have a part that takes advantage of his natural charm. Gus March Phillips has just the right amount of bravado and skill to back it up, that he's constantly demanding of your attention. From Henry Golding to Alex Pettyfer, each character has their own set of skills. Their distinct personalities prevent them from simply being action movie set dressing, even if their roles can fall into a more stereotypical label. But in a film full of great characters, the real highlight is Alan Ritchson's Anders Lassen. His enthusiasm is infectious and his machismo is unmatched. I've been a fan of Ritchson since his Blue Mountain State days, so it's been great to see him fully embrace the action hero role. He also utilizes those comedic chops to give us some of the funniest moments as well. So Ritchson, much like his character, really is a jack of all trades. Unfortunately, the whole Isa Gonzalez subplot feels like a waste of time. While I'm sure that the real-life Marjorie Stewart was vital to the operation, these asides were completely lacking in energy. It really felt like the film screeched to a halt whenever focusing on Gonzalez. And it's not even the fault of the actress, it's more the subplot that just fails to excite. Maybe in a different film it would have worked, but instead it just takes away from the people that are actually worth the screen time. Thankfully, many of her scenes involve Til Schweiger, who is still as great as ever. The action in the film is properly grounded, with some wonderful use of practical explosions and stunts. I'm sure there are CGI bullet hits. They're kinda hard to avoid these days, but they all work great. There's a sequence that I've been waiting for my entire cinema-going life, a ludicrously long stealth scene. I'm sure there are some that will tire of it, as it's a lot of the same thing happening over and over with various Nazis being shot with silencers. But there's just something so satisfying about it that I could have watched them do it for another 20 minutes. These men are good at their job, and their job is killing bad guys. Despite its 2-hour runtime, the film moves lightning quick. The plot is rather straightforward, and some may dislike the lack of twists, but not every film needs to pull the audience in a million different directions. I found the inclusion of James Bond author Ian Fleming to be a little on the nose, but hey, reality has some stupid things happen sometimes. Regardless, I had an absolute blast with the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, and would probably consider it my favorite Guy Ritchie film. I tend to find his work a bit style over substance, but that really works here. There's a little bit of Inglourious Bastards while still carving its own path. Here's hoping that we get a sequel and that this isn't our last time with this band of misfits. Which is why I'm giving the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare an 8 out of 10.
There were 2 more around the other side.
Where are they now?
Same place as these 2. Nazi heaven.